On this week's episode, I clear up everything that has to do with liquid cooling, push, pull, and push-pull configurations, and how to correctly calculate CFM in your computer. My name is Steve Smith. This is TQA Weekly. If ever you have any questions, comments, suggestions, and or PC horror stories that you wish to share, you can always email me at ask@tqaweekly.com. Go to my website, tqaweekly.com, where you can actually interact with the community and use the contact form to email me directly. And of course, you can always use this page if you're watching on YouTube, Blip.tv, Vimeo, or anywhere else I post to every single week, and comment down below. This show is all about answering questions, whether told directly to me or as I pick them up on the street, because I do actually work in places that allow me to see what most of you might actually be confused about. And today's topic is no different. It is related to fan cooling, radiators from water cooling, and the object of calculating this total CFM output and input of a computer correctly. So first, for those who didn't know, CFM is a relationship of the amount of volume being pushed through a fan calculated in cubic feet per minute, and this is during operation. When the fan is off, it's zero. Secondly, radiators are normally part of water cooling systems, and as such are usually closed on 4 of the sides, leading to the fact that only 2 facets are open to any form of circulation, air or otherwise, to pass through. Although I do not know why you would liquid cool a liquid cool radiator. And it's also made possible because of this frame to have fans installed in push, pull, and push-pull configurations. Most cars experience pull configuration, where the fan is behind the radiator pulling on the air. This is normal because the air coming from the front of the car would be pushing through. Most computers use push configuration where we push the air through. However, all computer radiators are capable of both. In either case, a fan that outputs 100 CFM outputs 100 CFM whether installed in the push or pull configuration without any exception whatsoever, except if you're using a cheap fan that can't actually push through. And for these, we always, in this show, suggest static pressure fans. Now, we would almost half expect that if you had 200 CFM fans, one in push and one in pull, that we would double the CFM, and this is where it gets confusing. While it is true that installing 2 fans with vents on the outside of a chassis of a computer would actually double the input of the computer, in this case, it does not work this way with a radiator. Because if we had one fan at 75 CFM and the other fan at 100 CFM, we would only get 75 CFM possible. Why? Well, because we are pushing a specific amount of air through the radiator. This is where it becomes something that you have to actually take into account. All the fans on the radiator must run at the same speed. This is why we connect them all together on a PWM circuit to make sure they spin all the time at the same speed. Because if their CFMs are not identical, you create either a positive or negative pressure load on the radiator itself, which could theoretically damage it. But at the end of the day, it just makes it grossly inefficient. Now, if you had 2 100 CFM fans, which is, by the way, perfect in both the push and pull configuration, it only allows for 100 cubic feet per minute of air to pass through. One takes the air from one side, pushes it through the radiator, and the other one picks up the same air and pushes it out. Which means that even if you were to try this with 2 stacked fans, one on top of the other, you would not increase the total CFM possible. And your total CFM inside your computer is affected by the amount of input and output. So your input minus your output should theoretically come out to 0 to have what we call a neutral build. This is the same thing we're expecting from a radiator that is liquid cooled, because none of the air could actually escape anywhere else except through the other side. I hope this clears up some of that confusion for you, and it will also help you out the next time you go to a computer store and wonder, if you don't have the money, what kind of configuration you truly need. You'll only be down to, if you want liquid cooling, do you want to push or pull configuration that fan, and that is up to you. But adding more fans is just a little bit more of a luxury and not exactly required. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share with those that you believe could actually benefit from this kind of show, and stay tuned to next week's episode on whatever I decide what it's going to be, unless you send me your questions, comments, suggestions, and or, of course, PC horror stories. Goodbye.